Okay, everybody, I am back with some more of this, some more of this garbage. I cannot believe it. I still have just it's about 46 minutes of having to listen to this parasite just constantly bitch and moan and beg for money when any other grown adult male would proudly go and get a job. This guy is sitting here playing a game and he calls it a job. Okay, let's start up, shall we?
This year that I bought and do that were new. I think earlier this year I was able to afford one hard drive to back up my video files. And the games this year that I bought for the business were all financed by your tips. Okay, so it was actually your tips on streams that paid for all that stuff because I didn't have any credit on my credit cards or anything to buy anything anymore.
Uh, let's just be honest. He makes it sound like that it was tips, that paid for it. No, they basically gave him money. You can say that it was tips. Yeah, it came in as tips. So basically, these guys paid for a grown-ass man to play video games. It'd be one thing if this was for like a charity stream, where the extra proceeds were going to go to like help battle cancer or something like that. But no, people actually donated money to a guy who just literally loves to sit on his ass and play video games for 24 hours a day.
It sucks. It's terrible. But that's the situation that I'm in right now.
He makes it sound like that it's out of his control. It's not out of his control. He could literally go and get an actual job. But no, he doesn't want to get a job. This is something he's adamant. There's no jobs in my field. I can't get a job. I can't do this. Filter out the white noise. In reality, he just does not want to actually do what every red-blooded adult has to do when they become an adult, and that's actually work.
Okay.
Take a sip.
Now, what I was hoping would happen, and what actually looked like it would happen, was that, okay, well, that sucks, but maybe because my Twitch is increasing, and I know for a fact that my Twitch is making more money, that I'll make more money on my Twitch, it'll account for that, and maybe I'll be able to pay off that shit, so that now I can afford my taxes,
I'm sorry, but every time he's talking about constant growth, is it me or does it sound like Phil is literally trying to convince himself that he is going to make it through this without any problems? It's like he's delusional. He's delusional and he's in denial. He does not want to understand the fact that he is basically nearing the end of his time on YouTube and Twitch. In less than a year, he's actually going to be out of that house. There is no way that he can get $16,000 from, tips and people giving him money by the time he needs to get these taxes paid. I'd love to see that happen.
moving forward this year. Maybe I'll be able to pay down my credit cards a little bit and then, okay, my first tax payment's in, I could afford it or whatever, okay? And at first it looked like that's what was going to happen. Like around June-ish, it looked like, wow, I am making a lot more money. In fact, if you remember around June-ish, July-ish, I was saying, wow, these are the best streaming months I've ever had. I actually got a little bit extra money, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to reveal to you some of the stuff that happened behind the scenes that I've not talked about whatsoever until right now.
Okay, let me take a drink because I'm going to need I may, pass out if I hear some of this shit that he's going to start bringing up. Hold on. Okay, I'm not drunk enough to hear this yet, but anyway, let's do it.
The full story of what happened between me and YouTube and my partnership network Curse, because I never told you the truth. I didn't feel like it was going to benefit anyone until right now to tell you what actually happened, okay?
Take a sip.
For those of you who don't know, around this summer, I had to leave Curse. Curse was my partnership network on YouTube. They provided me with the highest paying advertisements of the whole, website on my videos. I was making good money and everything was good. Never once did I ever get a complaint from Curse that I had done anything wrong. That everything was good. Everything was in line. They were making money on me. I was making, decent money on YouTube. It wasn't as good as it used to be, but it was a certain consistent level every month.
I remember after he lost his contract with Machinima, wasn't it kind of like this at the beginning when he lost his contract with Machinima? That was all peaches and cherries and all goody good and all that. And then after a few months, that's when Phil turned really toxic towards Machinima. I'm giving Phil about 4 more months, and then he's going to become toxic towards Curse. I'll make you a bet that happens.
So that, okay, if YouTube stays consistent and my Twitch is going up every month, now I can afford maybe pay down those credit cards and afford my taxes, and everything would have been fine. So here's what happened. Okay?
Okay.
I think it was about July, I want to say. It might have been June, but I think it was about July. I got contacted by Curse. Now, this is the first time I'd ever been contacted by Curse, like, personally about stuff. And they said that we need to talk to you. And it's not something that we want to put in writing. It's something that we actually want to talk to you man to man about because of the seriousness of it. I was like, oh my God, what could this possibly fucking be? Right? So I went ahead and I had a conference call with Curse and their management and everything. And basically, here's how the situation went. And none of this is in writing because they said they couldn't put it in writing. This was something they wanted to be informal on a call.
It really makes you wonder why they couldn't do it in writing, because every job that I was released from, no matter what the reason, be it laying off, being, restructuring, being just that they didn't want me anymore, I always had to sign paperwork. Paperwork is their way of covering their ass. And the fact that Phil Burnell did not get any paperwork, that there was some mystical mumbo jumbo with this conference call, I don't buy that shit at all. He probably has the paperwork that's probably hidden in a box underneath his bed that, is along with his other little mementos.
But basically they said, here's the deal, Phil. We know who you are, and we know you've been around for 10 years, and we actually like your content. Like, we know who you are and what you're all about, and we support you. And since you signed on with us a year and a half ago, because at that point it had been almost a year and a half that I was with them, there have been many times when people have tried to come up against you and say that you do horrible things on YouTube, and they've false flagged your videos, and they've said all this negative shit. Now, because we're your partnership network, all right, we have to review those cases to actually find out what's going on. And the bottom line is, we have gotten to know you over the past year and a half because we review your cases so much for all the false flagging. We know you don't do anything wrong. We've seen your content, and we know that everything is good. In fact, your content is getting more in line with being more acceptable on YouTube. You don't do the risque stuff, the more adult-oriented sexual content and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm just starting to laugh on the inside when I hear this. His stuff is becoming more and more better and more in line. Really? Really? This is from a guy who masturbated on live camera. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. He didn't know that it was on. There's nothing about this person that is decent. I'm sorry, but that makes me laugh. And no matter what, a business will always chase money. Businesses are just a legalized form of prostitution. They will go for wherever the money is. You're telling me that a company that specializes in streaming services, video game players and so forth, you tell me that they're just going to cut off one of their main sources of income? Nah, something happened behind the doors, as one would say. I don't buy this shit at all.
That you used to do back in the day, you've changed for the better. And I kind of explained to them, you're absolutely right, because the reason that I did that was because Twitch. I wanted to be a part of Twitch. I wanted Twitch to be a major thing, my streaming, and I had to kind of conform more to what their terms of service were going to be. And doing that, I have to kind of, not water myself down, but become less of a provocateur and more of just an entertaining, chill streamer. And they understood that. They said, yeah, we can actually see that from when we watch your videos. You get all these false flags that you did these terrible things. We look at your video, nothing like that at all. Your actual streaming content is good. Okay? But basically, here's what happened. They said, here's the problem. In 2018, YouTube has completely changed their mentality when it comes to partnership networks. Okay? It used to be that partnership networks were a great positive for YouTube, that YouTube would basically say, if you really want to have ads on YouTube, you really should be with a partnership network, because that puts the responsibility on the partnership network to make sure that all the content coming out on YouTube is kosher. And it's the partnership network's responsibility to make sure if one of their partners screws up, to make sure that that partner gets in line, and it could actually be held against the partnership network if, let's say, for example, I put out a video where I'm naked and I'm obviously violating YouTube's policy, then...
Okay, to be honest, that video of Phil in the shower, that recent video, that nobody should have to see that. That should be instant bannable material right there. I mean, I mean, this is coming from a guy who thinks he's ugly as hell. So, I wouldn't even do that, and I'm ass ugly now. So, like, next.
GCurse would have gotten in trouble for that, okay? But the good news is I never did anything like that. Everything I ever did was in line with YouTube's terms of service or whatever. Never had a problem. But what I was being told was, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Once again, my business has been massively negatively affected by the trolls who claim...
Oh, there it is. There it is. The evil trolls. I knew that it was going to get to that. That was... He can't take responsibility for anything. It's the fucking trolls. I could end this video right now because basically everything he's saying is a lie. It's not the trolls. It's not those evil detractors. It's Phil himself. He failed to do what was right, and it cost him his business. It's not the trolls' fault that he didn't pay taxes for 4 years, even though that's what he would like you to say, or like you to believe. It's Phil's decision to be a tax evader. You didn't see a detractor go to Phil and go, "Hey Phil, I think it's a good idea that you don't pay your taxes." No, that's all on Phil. Phil and no one else. But yeah, let's blame the detractors. Hell, they get the blame for everything else that happens to this greasy beggar.
That they don't mean to hurt me, that what they're doing is just to make me improve or whatever. So here's what actually happened with GCurse, all right? GCurse in 2018 had to institute a new policy, a new agreement they had with YouTube, that if they were going to continue to operate, they had to now manually review every single report that came in for one of their partners. Okay? So here's what would happen. I would do a stream, and during that stream, something would piss off a troll, or something would piss off one of the people who illegally steal my content, and they would basically make a meme out of something that happened on a stream, and then those people watching that stream would go mass report me to YouTube, saying that I did something wrong during that stream, in line with like that meme or whatever was going on, and GCurse would get 100, 200 reports in one day that I did something wrong, all saying the same memes. A lot of them were basically copy and pasted from different YouTube accounts, but the same thing over and over.
Don't you just love how Phil talks without showing any proof? I'm sorry, I don't believe a damn word that comes out of his mouth. I want proof. Proof, motherfucker. Do you understand the word? I want some evidence. Where's this evidence that these people submitted 100 or 200 reports on you a day? Where the fuck is this proof? And I can tell you something. There is no proof. There is no evidence. What it was GCurse looked and saw that this beggar was not pulling in enough people, to warrant paying him. So they got rid of him. A hoe has to hoe. If a hoe don't hoe no more, she ain't worth the hoe. Yeah, I think that doesn't make sense. Basically, to stay in a business, you have to constantly make the boss enough money. If you don't make that boss enough money, your ass is gone. And that's what happened with Phil. He failed to make enough money for GCurse, so GCurse let him go. Why keep an anchor that's dragging down a boat when you could just cut it loose? Next.
So they would get 100, 200 things on their fucking desk and say, what the hell is this? And they would start looking at them and say, This isn't legit at all. It's all bullshit against Phil. It's people basically trolling Phil, but because of our new agreement with YouTube, behind the scenes, we now have to manually investigate every fucking case, and we have to close each one manually. Now, initially, Curse backed me and said, you know, this is not Phil's fault that this would happen. This is, you know, he's not doing anything wrong. We're looking at his content. There's nothing wrong with his content. He's not inciting these people. These are people who literally just make their living or get their jollies off of making fun of Phil.
Yeah, let's totally overlook the fact that Phil has been known for insulting people. Hell, this last summer he got booted from Twitch for like a week or whatever it was, for basically insulting the way a person looks. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't fucking exercise anymore. Well, if he ever did. This is coming from somebody who sits on the fucking couch playing games and eating fast food. And he has the audacity to talk about somebody's looks.
And they start these negative memes and then mass report to YouTube just as a trollish measure to see if they can hurt him. And they backed me to a point. But basically what they said is it got to the point where there were certain things going on.
Take a sip.
For example, the state tax situation, where then they would mass report, oh, Phil is scamming his viewers in this video, go check it out. And there'd be, you know, 100 fake reports. And the person from Curse would spend all fucking day having to manually close 100 reports from 100 different YouTube accounts saying that I had violated the terms of service when I didn't. And it basically got to the point where the actual manpower of closing false logs against me was more expensive than keeping me as a partner. So they were making money on me, but the money they were making was less than the manpower it took for them to have to manually close all these logs. And I said to them, well, you know, in this case, this is a special case, obviously, would it actually be a bad thing for you to just ignore it? Because you know I've been here for 10 years. You know I rely on YouTube income to make my living.
Because he's lazy. I don't give a flying fuck what his reasoning is. He's lazy. The motherfucker doesn't want to work because he's lazy. And I know that one of Phil's white knights is going to hear this, and I'm going to hurt their little feelers, but your God is a lazy motherfucker.
I need this income. So if you were to, say, just ignore those reports and not have to put in those hours or whatever, save yourself the money, right? And they said, no, we can't do that because, God forbid, I have a bad day and this is the day when I actually do violate the YouTube terms of service or something. If I get in trouble, they get in trouble. And they said, we can't have a person, you know, as a liability, especially someone like me who wasn't making them a lot of money. Let's be honest, I'm a small-time guy.
He answered it right there. He was not making them enough money. You can you can stop listening to whatever he was saying now. He answered the question right there. Why was he released? He was not making them enough money. He's just trying to sugarcoat it by blaming the detractors and trolls as a way to rile up his little small band of merry men to try to do some attacks.
I now on YouTube. I'm not a huge guy anymore. And they said, you know, not that you don't make us money, you don't make us a ton of money. If you were making us tens of thousands of dollars a month hand over fist, then maybe we would be willing to put up with it. But for the amount of money you're making us, there's no way that we can risk that one day we don't review something that you did and then it becomes legit. And now we get slammed financially from YouTube with fines and fees or maybe get penalized because of that. So basically, that we had talks, okay, back and forth for about a month and a half. And after about a month and a half of talks, Curse said, we're sorry, Phil. You've done nothing wrong. We like your content. But because we have to basically start now trimming people who are not cost effective to keep, we have to basically kind of agree to end the partnership. And I said, I guess I agree, but this sucks. And they said, yeah, basically, Phil, you're not ever going to be able to get partnered ever again. Because now that this is known, what company is going to do that? Because they know people are going to false report you. And it's the thing is, when you're on your own YouTube channel with your own ads, your own AdSense, that goes through YouTube's report system, which is so terrible anyway. Most of the time, they don't even review things that get reported. And when they do, it's a quick cursory glance. You know what I mean? So that's basically what Curse told me.
That's one thing. Oh, I'm already at the past 10-minute mark. Holy shit, where does time go when you're having fun? Anyway, I'm gonna get this last point. I'm gonna mention this, and then I'm gonna skedaddle and everything. Get this uploaded to YouTube so I can make some non-existent dollars off of Philly Boy here. Isn't it just hilarious that somebody who doesn't know the insides of how Google and how YouTube works talks like he's the master of how he knows how everything works over there? God, I wish I could be that arrogant and just act like I know how a place works without even setting a fucking foot in there. I'm sorry, but this guy knows shit. Okay. Well, that was my nightly little 10-minute spiel of this punch in the balls special begathon that Philly Boy has been doing. So tomorrow I will upload another 10 minutes. And we'll be through this tripe by hopefully next Saturday. But anyway, take it easy, everyone. And stay safe out there. And just remember, whatever Philly Boy says, he is not as innocent as he claims to be.